Wii Wonders!
Welcome, wonderful watchers, to Wii Wonders, a Wii game review series by me, Souldin of the Grin Brothers. This episode will cover the Wii game Ōkami, an action-adventure game developed by Clover Studios and published by Capcom. Let's begin playing then. It's waggle time! Wii Wonders Season 2 focuses on games released for the Nintendo Wii's first year of 2007. As a 2008 Wii port of a 2007 PS2 game, Ōkami is a bonus exception, being reviewed due to the recent playthrough my brother and I did for the Grin Brothers channel. It is always best to review these games when they are fresh in your mind. Hope you enjoy!
Story time!
Ōkami is a tale of doggies. It's also a tale of Japanese mythology, celestial powers, principles of calligraphy, sake brewing, discovery of self-confidence, and more. But the doggies are the most important part. Once upon a time, the land of Nippon was ruled by the fearsome Orochi. Blanketing the skies in darkness, he would demand a young maiden's sacrifice once every year to satisfy his hunger. On one fateful night, the eight-headed serpent's lair, the Moon Cave, was stormed by the warrior Nagi and the white wolf Shiranui. With the combined powers of skilled swordsmanship, godly calligraphy, and intoxicating alcohol, Orochi was slain and sealed away. Sadly, Shiranui passed away from injuries, so Nagi's village of Kamiki honoured the noble doggie with a statue. 100 peaceful years passed, and a non-believer of the legend pulls out the sword that sealed Orochi, unintentionally releasing the dark god upon the land. Orochi cursed the land with his darkness once again, turning life to stone and creating zones for his demons and imps to roam. The village of Kamiki had been protected from this by the wood sprite Sakuya, but even her powers had started to wane. So she called upon the aid of the sun goddess Amaterasu, summoning her to the land through the statue of good doggie Shiranui. Now a good doggie herself, Amaterasu must venture through the cursed lands, recover the celestial brush powers her children protect, restore the sacred trees to ward off the dark curse, and defeat Orochi. Aiding her on this quest is the wandering artist Isun, a bug-sized boy who survived the near apocalypse because he was sleeping in Sakuya's clothes. He's a pervert! He can also talk to people, and doggies, so it's through him that you'll learn what problems people are facing and where you'll need to go. You'll also regularly encounter the wooden sword-wielding warrior Susano, the lazy, drink-loving descendant of Nagi, who regularly ends up in dangerous situations. Perhaps not wanting to clue people on to the dangerous demons about, or perhaps to build up Susano's self-confidence, Amaterasu will often use her celestial powers to deal with problems in such a way that it looks like Susano did the deed. These secretive self-confidence building deeds also apply to other characters, such as aiding Kokari in his lineless fishing, or supporting Mr. Orange in his rejuvenating Konohana Shuffle.
Amy needs a drink herself.
Eason, grab me the drink, just pour it in as I do this! You just got Eason like pouring the entire bowl into Abby's mouth.
There we go. That was an even worse circle than the last one. Why did it create a sun?
No, my life is too strong! The sun is coming upon us!
We're doomed!
Okami features a colourful cast of characters one you'll lend a paw to. From fang enthusiasts to attention-seeking molsters, beautiful Brewsters with wit, and noble warrior doggies. The land is lush in design, but it's the multiple dialogue characters that truly give it life, with plenty of comedic lines and surprising depth to the cast. Sometimes you don't even need words, as the barking Amaterasu is rich in character through her reactions and animations, notably highlighted with the discovery of new celestial brush gods and interactions with the talkative Isun. Writing is one of this game's greatest strengths, though the sheer amount and emphasis does slow the pace of the game down considerably, in both length and frequency. So thankfully it's entertaining, with superb snark and dialogue that explains game elements in ways both obvious and natural.
Instruction time!
With the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, you have a lot of controls to keep in mind across the movement phase, battle phase, celestial brush phase, and various game mission phases. Luckily, there is a lot of crossover with these phases, so if Amaterasu is present on screen, you always move her with the control stick. Likewise, a swing of the Wii Remote has Amaterasu attack, a tackle attack as you move about the overworld, or an attack with a weapon during battles with enemies. The C button digs in the overworld, and it also digs during minigames, and instead wheezes on your opponent during combat, and I'm not talking about the Nintendo Wii here. Meanwhile, holding the B button in just about any circumstance brings up the celestial brush, and turns the world into your drawing pad. Holding the A button puts your brush to the paper, and with a smooth motion of your remote holding hand you can draw a straight line to perform a power slash! I said draw a straight line to perform a power slash! I said power slash! Come on! Power slash!
What are you expecting? Am I doing it too far? Am I supposed to do it on the boulder itself? I am doing exactly as you're telling me!
As you can see, the drawing mechanics are finicky, requiring a great deal of precision and speed. There will be many attempts to draw moons and summon winds only to get nothing, or accidentally rising up suns when flowers should be blooming. Power slash is a simple straight line, but was often a struggle to pull off. Likewise, swings of the Wii Remote require a certain rhythm to execute Amateratsu's attacks correctly, though the ease of control varies from weapon to weapon. Luckily, the various button presses aren't as demanding, with the A button being to jump and a second press smoothly commanding Amaterasu to either reliably double jump or wall jump. The plus button pauses things and allows you to go through items, divine attributes aka stats, brush techniques, info scrolls, and the map. Or you can press the 1 button to bring up the map much faster. The D-pad is used to navigate these menus and map screens, and is otherwise used for camera controls. The Wii Remote refuses to recognise swings, but the nunchuck is perhaps too eager, with slight shakes of the accessory often resulting in unintended fleet-footed movements and backflips. The controls can be a challenging ordeal, perhaps as a result of trying to do so much, with additional combat techniques to learn and a myriad of shapes to draw that overlap. Oh, almost forgot to mention the Z button. The Z button has Ami bark, and use a sub-weapon, but barking like a good doggie is the most important part.
Action time!
You must restore people's faith with great divine doggy intervention through taking down demonic entities, restoring guardian saplings, and feeding oh so many animals. This typically involves arriving in a new cursed area, locating the guardian sapling whilst avoiding irritating trees and hazardous boundaries, then restoring the sapling with your bloom ability. With the cursed zone banished, the people of the area will be cured of petrification, though they still have troubles that need solving, and these vary greatly. Mrs. Orange needs you to restore her laundry pole, pyrotechnist Tama needs help with a firework, and Sparrow Mafia leader Jamba needs you to rescue his daughter from hungry murderous Tengus. You see, sometimes it's a quick job of trying to draw something successfully, other times it is a mini-game event, and other times it's a long string of journeying with plenty of combat encounters. You may cure the curses, but enemies still roam about, often in the form of eerie paper. Solving these problems will net you praise, which can be used to upgrade divine attributes such as health to survive and ink pots to use your celestial powers. Solving these problems usually leads to new celestial powers, with the ability to blow up walls with bombs and create lily pads across surfaces, helping Ami and Isun to progress with their adventure. As mentioned, enemies roam about in papery form, especially at night when they are more numerous and ferocious. If they make contact, you're sealed within a battle arena where you're pitted against the imp musicians, plant turtles, exploding fish, and much more. Whacking the sides of your arena can allow you to escape, but defeating these foes with your mirrors and beads will reward you with money, which is in turn handy for healing holy bones, explosive exorcism tags, and learning new techniques at the dojo. Each fight is scored as well, with fast fights and few injuries of your own netting better payment. Your puzzle-solving brush powers will also be put to good use in these fights, power slashing through blocking foes being an obvious tool, but even prying vines and blossoming flowers have their usage in combat. Sometimes you'll be hunting these monsters down per request, and sometimes they'll have ambushed you. Point is, combat will be required, especially for the big bosses awaiting at the end of dungeons. These dungeons don't differ too much from the overworld portions, a little more linear and a little less NPCs, with the odd map and eye-gouging key to be found.
Please don't put that in my eye. No! God, that was violent. Yes.
There's some nifty celestial brush set pieces to solve, but there are numerous of these in the overworld, so it doesn't feel too distinct. The bigger difference is the big bosses at the end, from spider queens to boar demons. These climactic encounters absolutely require the celestial brush powers to take down, mainly powers such as gale summoning that you would have obtained during the dungeon. Defeat these giant baddies and Isun will direct you to your next step of the adventure. These areas are large with tons of things to find, characters to chat with, and minigames to beat. Typically you will dig up treasure to sell, but otherwise that random fellow you talk to will lead you to incredibly useful celestial powers. As for the minigames, you've got the simple affairs of whack-a-mole against unsettling lonely gangsters, the recurring susano sequences, and tasks that take on a whole different style, such as trying to dig down in 2D areas in search of treasure or water. Celestial powers continue to come in handy for these moments, and story-important ones such as the fishing minigame can be returned to just for your enjoyment, and profitable fish. The large realm of Ōkami can be aimless, with a specific order to goals, despite your ability to reach them. It is delightful then that the land you'll often be lost in is a beautiful one, with a distinctive style present in every element. The game struck upon a theme, and from the art-based gameplay element, visual presentation, and a blend of tunes, both traditionally Japanese, yet action-intense, ran with it. Weapons flash and roar, perhaps a little too loudly, with ink brush outlines having characters and environments pop. Doggies appear with many distinctive looks. The likes of Princess Fuse appear beautiful, and characters vary with bold silhouettes. With such great graphics, it's always a wondrous sight to restore each area to its true vibrancy and witness the characters and animals spring to life.
Ending time.
Waggle time is over, and the questions left to answer are as follows. What are my overall thoughts on this game, and who do I recommend this game for? Do not go into this game thinking it's a Zelda-like game. Okami's often compared to The Legend of Zelda, but I feel that sets up false expectations for the game's dungeons and its overworld. The overworld is the priority, with an incredible frequency of events, fights, new powers, and the usage of said new powers. As a result of so much existing in the travelling points and towns, the dungeons don't feel all too different, with only the admittedly glorious boss battles at the end having them feel different in any way. If I were to equate boss battles with challenge, though, the Canine Warriors did force me into using the life-restoring Astral Pouch. Ultimately, this game has many positive qualities that can get damaged by its negative ones. The characters and storytelling is splendid, but the pacing can drag these moments out. The gameplay is great with cool combat and a fun idea of drawing things to affect the world, but the controls are rough, with frequent failures dragging the pacing further. Numerous elements this game has shine, but there's often something in its execution that dims the light. As for who would enjoy this game, well, fans of Japanese mythology and culture would be drawn to both its visuals and story. Said story is the game's highlight thanks to its character problem-driven tale, spiced up thanks to the surprising depth and development each character has through the twists and turns that unfold. And on a gameplay side of things, is gamers who enjoy exploring with a leisurely pace to their adventure would be best suited to Ōkami. There's so many secrets tucked away, waiting to be uncovered by observant eyes and correct celestial brush usage. Whether you choose to play the Wii Wonder that is Ōkami is up to you. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching.
Well, I was lonely, so I became a monster. You should probably change that name. No matter how long I wait down here, no one comes to see me.
Maybe change your gang name.
That's the way I behaved, that way I did. I just wanted to get your attention.
It's just people with more mummy issues. God, what have you done, Amaretsu?
Please, white doggy. Will you be a friend? I promise I'll behave myself from now on. Honest, I'll be a true molster.
Keep your molstering away from me.
You're just what I need.
Okay, Amaretsu does not need any more kids.
If you stay, then I won't have to be lonely anymore.
It's an incel.
This is just getting stranger by the minute.
He's an incel.
I know I shouldn't show my feelings like this. Yeah.
I don't like this. What even is this? What did I steal from this? Is this a jar? Oh, I hope to God he didn't keep any figures in it.
Thank you for watching. Cheerio.